What's up, comic book fans? And welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me. And today, we got more Blood Hunt. This time, with Wolverine Blood Hunt issue number 4, and the finale to this Wolverine Blood Hunt tie-in series. And if you guys missed any issue of this 4-issue tie-in series, then I'll place a card at the top of the screen and a link at the end of the video as well to both this tie-in series and the entire event. But when we last left off with this series, Wolverine and Nightguard had taken out the Aqueous vampires en route to finding Maverick's hideout. And once they made it to the hideout, Maverick had more surprises waiting for Wolverine. But we also found out that since Nightguard is a vampire, she hadn't shown up on any of the cameras that Mav was spying on Logan with, giving her and Logan the advantage, which Logan would end up using and having Nightguard turn him into a vampire. But in the end, after being turned, Wolverine finally met the person calling the shots behind Maverick, Alyssa. But what Maverick wasn't expecting was that the offer that she had made to him of being her king when she takes Blade's spot as the top vampire and queen, she was now offering to Logan instead. So if you guys are ready to find out how Maverick responds to Alyssa giving away his assumed kingdom and to see more of Wolverine as a vampire, then you guys know what time it is. Let's get it. So when we kick off this issue, Logan and Maverick are face to face, and Mav's laughing it up right now, reveling in the gauntlet that he's put Logan through, and how he passed the test with flying colors. But what Maverick doesn't know is that his so-called queen is speaking with Wolverine right now through his mind. And she tells him that Maverick is standing in the way of their glorious future together. And while Mav's thinking that he and Wolverine are about to get back to their old team-up days, Alyssa is telling Wolverine to ignore him because he no longer matters. All that matters now is her, the queen. And then Alyssa fills in Mav that Logan still has one more test to pass. A test of combat. And they will have to fight to the death for the role of her king. And once Alyssa sends Wolverine in, he wastes no time in popping his claws and then leaping into battle with Mav. Meanwhile, Nightguard uses the commotion to sneak around the hideout, and when she approaches a large door being guarded by 2 mercenary vamps, she quickly takes them out and then blows open those doors. And once inside, she finds the control center for this entire compound. So of course, it's time to blow that up too. But before she can fire a shot, more guards storm in and Nightguard ends up taking a shot to the shoulder. And although it causes her to drop her weapon before she can shut down the facility, she still got her UV sword, so she leaps in to take out the rest of these guards. And then we pick back up with Wolverine and Maverick, as Wolverine right now is whooping some ass. As Maverick, meanwhile, is now feeling the effects of Alyssa no longer being inside of his mind. And then Wolverine breaks it to Mav that Alyssa's only talking to him now, and that he's to be her new king instead of Mav. And then he pops his claws again and slices Mav's rifle right in half. But then Mav pulls another firearm and takes a shot, knocking Logan back. This is all wrong, Mav repeats a couple of times. All wrong. But Wolverine is loving it, and to him, Mav's just being whiny right now. And then Wolverine decides to guess what's bothering Mav. That he thought he found the one in Alyssa. Someone that he could finally love more than himself, only to find out that he got played. And yeah, that's exactly what Mav's problem is. He got fooled by Alyssa, just like she's fooling you now, Mav tells him. Which makes Wolverine retract his claws for a moment to think about what Mav's telling him. What am I doing? Wolverine begins to think to himself. Mav's a friend. Sorta. But then Alyssa doubles down on the vampire telepathy and tells Wolverine that Mav's just being a jealous and petty man, that says terrible things about Wolverine's queen, which begins to fill Wolverine with rage once again and sending him back on the offensive. And then he accuses Mav of trying to mess with his head again. But it ain't gonna work no more, Logan tells him, because Alyssa wants a king, and she deserves the best there is. And just as he's about to give Alyssa Maverick's head as a gift, the command center alarm starts ringing, and Alyssa stops Logan and calls for him to join her in dealing with the security breach. So Wolverine agrees to come along as soon as he finishes off Mav. But when he turns around, Mav's already vanished. He skated on their ass. Meanwhile, back in the command center, we see Night Guard fighting off the vamp guards when one slipped past her to sound that alarm. But she quickly removes his head for a reward. But then Alyssa and Wolverine show up. And when Night Guard calls out for Logan, Alyssa's response is that she realizes she has some competition for Wolverine's affections. But not for long, he responds to his queen. And then he launches himself right at Night Guard, claws first. But she manages to quickly dodge his attack, which impresses Alyssa actually. Not many people are able to avoid an attack from Wolverine. But Night Guard's got no love for Alyssa, and she knows that Alyssa is the leader of the Siren sect. But she also knows something else. And that's what she needs to do right now. And just as Logan begins to recognize her, she apologizes to him, right before she puts her UV blade straight through Wolverine's gut. And then she whispers in his ear that he must break the spell and heal himself so he can return to her, which pisses Alyssa off, and she turns from queen to scream. Man, y'all, I mean butt ugly. Face looking like an ashy turd. And then she jumps at Night Guard, threatening to tear out her heart. But Night Guard is ready for the smoke, so it's up now between these two vampire femme fatales. Logan, meanwhile, still has that UV blade sticking out of his gut, and the pain is unbearable. He can feel the UV sword turning his guts into mincemeat, he thinks. And it's killing him, so he rips it out of himself. And as he hits the ground writhing in pain, trying to recover, he thinks to himself that he's got to get Alyssa out of his head, and he can now feel his healing factor kicking out the vampire enzyme from his body. He's got to hurry up and heal faster so he can help out Night Guard, who he knows needs his help right now, as we see Alyssa starting to gain the advantage over Night Guard. But Alyssa actually tries to recruit her. We don't need to be foes, she pleads with Night Guard, and then tries to get her to look into her eyes so Alyssa can gain control over her mind. But Night Guard's only concerned with Alyssa's stink breath right now. Plus, she's trained with the best of the best, and Alyssa's hypnotic tricks won't work on her. Then Night Guard manages to pull one of her UV shells and stabs Alyssa right in the chest with it. And just like that, Alyssa turns into dust. Apparently Night Guard didn't need Logan's help at all. And as Alyssa's dusty ass fades away, Maverick shows back up and realizes that Wolverine had some help all this time. But then as Wolverine gets ready to attack Mav again, blaming all of this on his recruitment attempt, Mav tells Logan that he did it all for love. And for the first time that I can recall ever seeing, Mav is heartbroken right now, and you almost feel sorry for him. She came to me with a job offer, but turned me instead, he tells Logan. And that she filled his head with all kinds of lies about how she loved him and how they were gonna rule the new vampire world together. But Wolverine still doesn't let up. He's not sure what to do with Mav. But then Louise becomes the voice of reason and speaks up and insists that Logan let him go. Alyssa is no more, and her curse on him is broken. He's human again. So Logan acquiesces and retracts his claws. And then a little bit later on, Logan and Louise stand out on the beach while Logan's on the horn with Jeff Bannister, his CIA buddy, who lets Logan know that he's got a ride on the way to scoop up Logan and bring him back home. And he also informs Logan that his superhero pals seem to be turning the tide in this blood hunt event. But he also tells Wolverine that he needs to join in the war and help. Then after Logan hangs up the phone, Night Guard tells him not to be too hard on Mav, His mind was not his own, just like Logan's wasn't. But then she tells him that she needs to head back home, because the longer she stays here, the more difficult it becomes to hold back her vampire urges. But before she leaves, there's one last thing she needs from Logan. And that's a big old wet one, as they share one last long kiss before she leaves. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the issue and this tie-in series. So what did you guys think about the issue in the series? And how we feeling about this event so far with it coming down to the final stretch? Do you guys think Marvel hit it out the park with this one? Or just more of the same meh? I for one am digging this event, as it's been a lot of fun for me to break down. But how do you guys think this whole event is going to come to an end? What kind of changes do you think is going to be made for the Marvel Universe moving forward? And do you think we'll actually get Logan helping out in the finale just like Jeff Bannister kind of hinted at? You guys know I want to hear all your best thoughts and theories down in the comments. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and this channel, and you'd like to support the channel, then you can do so by stopping by the Comics Icons store and picking you up some Comics Icons merchandise, including the background music heard right here in this video, available for download. Or by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership. And it'll be a link in the description to join. But with your membership, your voice will be heard during our interactive live streams with yours truly, where we could talk about everything that's been going down in these issues, as well as ones that you'd like for me to go over in the future and other comic news. Plus, you guys will get loyalty badges, member shoutouts, and up to 20% off of Comics Icons merchandise from the Comics Icons store. Plus, we've got tiers to the memberships as well, beginning at just 99 cents. Or you guys can donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do any of that, then you can still be a tremendous help to this channel's future by dropping a like, share, and subscribe in the Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time.